Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. They're messing with us, right? The SEC. They're messing with this, aren't they? Because it's just like every litigation, crypto litigation under the sun, an investigation having to do with crypto and the SEC, it's all going away. All of it. Just everything. Except for the Ripple appeal. So they're messing with us, right? Now, look, I understand that the Ripple appeal, that whole situation, and I've talked about it in recent videos, it's a bit more complex than, for instance, wrapping up the Coinbase lawsuit, which did happen the other day. I'm sure most of you have heard by now. But we got two more things getting wrapped up with the SEC today. The news broke, so I'm going to highlight them. I got commentary from attorney Jeremy Hogan on this. But I'm just sitting here thinking, my God, all of this is wrapped up. It's just like, we've been dealing with this nonsense since December of 2020. Are we going to be the last ones, we in the XRP community, we're going to be the last ones to completely be free of the Kim Jong-Gensler and asshat prick Jay Clayton regimes? Like, we're going to be the ones last? And I think the answer might be yes. It actually might be yes. But we are going to be in the clear. I firmly believe that the lawsuit will go away. The appeal will go away. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, I will remind you that President Donald Trump has declared that the war on crypto is over. Now, I know that there are still some litigations Ripple that's still out there with the SEC. But it's very clear that from Trump's perspective, the war on crypto, it's just wrapping it up. It's nothing more than a formality, basically. It's everything's going to go away. Like, all of it. It's very clear. And they're doing this. The fact that they're moving with this speed, getting rid of all of this, before we even have an actual new SEC chair, that's impressive. This is beyond what I hoped, to be honest with you. I was very optimistic that Trump would follow through with his word, broadly speaking. This is beyond what I actually thought would happen. He's going guns a-blazing with the whole United States government. We are now officially pro-crypto. So the answer is yes, like, we're in the clear, and XRP already has legal clarity anyway. But I love to highlight this stuff because it's just so beautiful after several years of just getting beaten down irrationally, unethically by the SEC, and now we get headlines like this, just seeing that the SEC's wrapping everything up. The SEC's, frankly, no longer our enemy. I know it sounds weird to say that and think about them like that, but the SEC is no longer our arch nemesis. So look at this headline from CoinDesk. SEC Justin Sun Tron ask court to pause fraud case over potential resolution. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the Tron Foundation, and Justin Sun filed a joint motion Wednesday asking a federal judge to pause the security regulator's ongoing case against the crypto entrepreneur and his company. The motion is similar to motions filed in the SEC's ongoing cases against Coinbase and Binance. In both cases, the parties said that they were working toward a potential resolution of their cases. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong said last week that the SEC agreed to drop its case against the exchange outright, pending commissioner approval. So you love to see that. And there's been all sorts of stuff dropping recently, not just Coinbase. I don't know if I could remember them all off the top of my head. There's been several. There's also OpenSea. That one happened the other day, for example. But here's what attorney Jeremy Hogan had to say about this. He said, the SEC has just agreed to pause the Tron Foundation lawsuit and are asking the judge for 60 days to resolve it. Hashtag another one. This lawsuit involved not only allegations of sale of unregistered securities, but also fraud allegations, market manipulation, and illegal payments to promoters. Now, folks, that's really something. This is the degree to which Trump wants the attack on crypto to end. And maybe those, I'm less clear on the specifics of this, and I wouldn't be surprised since it's the SEC. All of that is probably just bogus, because pretty much anything the SEC has said for the last several years, I'm like, well, that's probably just not true. Because they're a bunch of lying asshat pricks. But as far as the market manipulation, that was one that I was kind of curious about. What about any cases like that? Now, the ones that are actually truly outright fraud, I don't think the SEC is actually going to go there. I think that this probably means that the the allegations of fraud and market manipulation were probably just bogus. Because I do firmly believe, like the Trump administration, I think they're still going to go after the people that are actually outright scamming people and engaging in fraud. But anyway, Hogan then said, another SEC crypto litigation is going away, although I think they should move forward with the Jake Paul part of the lawsuit out of principle for all the staff that watched the Tyson fight. He says, motion to stay number 82 in Securities and Exchange Commission v. Sun, Southern District, New York, and then cites there's some numbers labeling it from the court listener website. Now, he did add on the following. This is Attorney Hogan again just this evening. He said, Ripple is still a more complicated case to resolve because of the judgment. The Tron case wasn't nearly as far along. That's right. First in, last out. Little Philo for you. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. The good news is, again, XRP's got legal clarity. Even if and I still firmly believe this, even if the appeal actually went forward, and it won't, but even if it did, XRP still enters price discovery. It's not a factor because XRP clearly has legal clarity. It's not a factor. There's also this post from somebody named Hans wrote to Attorney Hogan and said, meanwhile, library absolutely wrecked with no coming back. And Attorney Hogan said, yeah, I don't see how that can be unwound. They ran the project into the ground. Yep, that's disgusting. And Attorney Deaton participated in that case as well as amicus counsel. And it's just, I mean, it's disgusting. For those of you that are around, you may recall that the SEC literally told, what's the guy's name? Jeremy Kauffman, that they were going to bankrupt him. That was part of their strategy. If he wasn't going to acquiesce and do everything, that they were just going to keep running him into the ground. And what's interesting is when it came to like final judgment, he's like, I'll give you every last penny if you could just make the lawsuit go away. There was no settling with them, though. There was no making it okay. They were out for blood. That was a different SEC, though, different times. Now, that's not the only thing that happened today. Take a look at this one, too. From Cointelegraph, SEC closed investigation into Gemini with no action, says Winklevoss. Yes, that's two today. There's been like at least one per day for like the last several days. Anyway, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has closed its investigation into crypto exchange Gemini, adding to a growing list of firms that have escaped the regulator's scrutiny for now. In a February 26 notice shared by Gemini co-founder and president Cameron Winklevoss, the SEC said it had concluded its investigation, and based on the information we have as of this date, the regulator will not recommend an enforcement action. The SEC charged crypto lending firm Genesis Global Capital and crypto exchange Gemini with offering unregistered securities through Gemini's Earn program on January 12, 2023. However, the agency added the notice isn't an exoneration and that it must not be construed as an indication that no action will be taken at a later date as a result of the SEC's investigation. Okay, and so that would be more of just a technicality. Obviously, we're in the clear. The war on crypto very obviously is over. Anyway, piece continues. Winklevoss said closing the investigation for now is of little consolation after the damage this agency has done to us and the broader crypto industry. The SEC cost us tens of millions of dollars in legal bills alone and hundreds of millions in lost productivity, creativity, and innovation. Of course, Gemini is not alone, Winklevoss said. The SEC's behavior in aggregate toward other crypto companies and projects cost orders of magnitude more and caused unquantifiable loss in economic growth for America, he added. It follows a swath of similar actions by the SEC, with the agency closing its cases against crypto exchange Coinbase on February 21st. The exchange was accused of operating as an unregistered securities broker. The case against NFT marketplace OpenSea was closed on the same day. The SEC also recently dropped its investigation into Uniswap Labs, the developer behind the Uniswap decentralized exchange and online brokerage Robinhood Crypto, which received a Wells notice on May 4th. So that's at least 6 instances of either the lawsuit outright being dropped or investigations just ending without any action being taken. That's pretty damn good. That's a lot all at once here. So it's just that the Ripple situation, it's a little bit more unique, a little bit more complex because there's already an actual ruling. And so it's just like even if the SEC was like, okay, we're just going to stop the appeal. Well, then Ripple, they just be like, okay, well, what's our incentive to drop our cross appeal? So maybe there has to be some negotiation tactics in the background, because don't forget, like Ripple is also appealing the SEC. Now, of course, that was in response to the SEC filing, but just because the SEC, if they, assuming they move forward and decide, hey, we're no longer going to appeal, that doesn't mean that the Ripple cross appeal goes away. No. It's in place unless Ripple decides they don't want to cross appeal. So you can see how that adds an extra layer of complexity, but still all of this ultimately goes away. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, the amount of additional money that's going to pour into crypto sooner rather than later as a result of this, it's hard to quantify. It's hard to know exactly what that's going to look like. But I mean, given that XRP and like the entire crypto asset class is offering life-changing wealth, it's going to be like that, but on steroids now. That's what's going to happen. Because, and I know you could say, but it's just one country. It's just the United States. Like, I'm not saying this because of some sort of ethnocentric take. I'm telling you that, because I do live in the United States, of course. What I'm telling you is that the United States is the largest capital market on the entire damn planet. And when you open that up to a much more substantial degree, imagine what that means over a span of years. It's going to be staggering. That's what that means. And I know that some funds were already going offshore, but there's all sorts of participants that just, otherwise would have been here, but just weren't because of the legalities. That goes away now. Look, from where we are now to just like 1 decade from now, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but it's going to be a whole different world. The crypto asset class is going to be worth a fortune compared to what it is now. Presumably at least in the tens of trillions of dollars in terms of market cap for the entire asset class. And right now we're a little, because of the most recent dip, last I saw earlier today, and it was like 2.8 trillion. Well, it's going to be tens of trillions. Presumably at some point in the future will be over $100 trillion. Why wouldn't that happen? I think it's coming anyway. It's just an exciting time to be in crypto. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.